Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. Here we are at Trump Fridays. This is Street Talk. I am Ray Michaels, and we have Buffalo Rick. It's great to have you here at El Capo Restaurant.
Well, you know, I was invited down by Neil DeSanti last week, and he didn't give me the name of the place or the address. He said it's at Scottsdale and Shea. So I covered the entire corners of Scottsdale and Shea and missed it totally. So he gave me the address this time, so I actually made it.
Well, it's Buffalo Rick. That is Neil to a T, isn't it?
I think you know, I would have enjoyed having him as mayor. I'm just sorry that he didn't make it on the ballot. I had experience with that back in 91 or 92. I was running my Wild West show, and I needed the publicity, so I found out that I could go down and get the paperwork to run for mayor.
Right.
So I picked it up, but I only had 10 days to get the signatures. So I took my stagecoach and my saloon girls to Park Central Mall, and I got half the signatures I needed in 10 days to get on the ballot. I didn't make it, but I got half the signatures I needed. And people said, "What is your platform?" I said, "Well, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a Mormon, and the only person with his hands in my pockets is me." And our mayor is basically a song and dance man.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm a professional song and dance man. That's what I've done all my life.
Now, I'm trying to think, because I was traveling internationally around that time. Which mayor was that?
At the time, I believe it was Skippy. Actually, at the time, Terry Goddard was running for governor. And he called me and wanted to hire our band to play at one of his events. And I said, "I tell you what, Terry, we'll come and play, and we'll wear your t-shirt if you'll wear one of my Buffalo Rick for Mayor t-shirts." Well, he did.
Did he really?
He actually did, and I saw him a few years later down at the Capitol walking through, and I gave him my basic opinion of what I thought of him at the time. Because
Oh, and now you wanted your shirt back.
yeah, well, I was hoping that he would burn it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, I was born and raised here, and we had such a great time. You were over at Rawhide, I'm sure.
Well, Rawhide used to call us whenever they had an important client, because they only paid their people $5 an hour.
Right.
And a $5 an hour stuntman is not very trustworthy. They hurt themselves a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, for $5 an hour, I mean, those stunts are tough. You're falling off buildings, getting shot.
We rolled off roofs, we did roof falls, everything else, and minimum was $250 just to roll off of a first-story roof.
Wow.
And I was in business from basically 1980 until 2000, when I was crippled by the VA with an Agent Orange tumor. And it was just amazing. I opened up a place in Cave Creek with a friend of mine named Crazy Ed. It was called the Satisfied Frog.
Yes, I know it well.
In 1980, we opened that up. In fact, I named the place.
Is that still there?
No, it burned to the ground.
That's right, yeah.
And Ed opened up a place in Mexico. And I've never been down there because I won't cross the border. I don't trust Mexico.
Is Crazy Ed's? That's gone too, huh?
Yeah, the old Crazy Ed's is gone.
I actually performed at Crazy Ed's. Must have been 1980, 81.
In the 19th Avenue in Deer Valley, or the...
No, the original.
Frog.
Yeah, yeah.
Frog. That was, I had the band in there. I worked behind the bar. We were driving to town one day, and it was originally called the Rusty Load. Ed bought it and put it in his wife's name because he signed a covenant not to compete with Price, who he sold the Horny Toad to about 9 years before that, but he had a 10-year covenant. So I asked him on the way to town, I said, "Did you name the place the Rusty Load so people would confuse it with the Horny Toad?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, Ed, if you really want to piss him off," I said, "why don't you call it the Satisfied Frog?" I said, "Wouldn't you rather be a satisfied frog than a horny toad?" 3 days later, he comes in with the paperwork and a picture, and he says, "We're changing the name."
I'll tell you, this is what is so fun about coming to Trump Fridays. You get stories like this. Oh my gosh, you know, we talked to Joe a couple weeks ago. She knows President Trump personally. Well, you always get a lot of great stories over here. What do you think about President Trump?
I think that he's the guy we've been asking for a long time. I've heard people for 20 years go, you know, we need somebody like us in office. And we got somebody, and now what do we happen to deal with? We're having to deal with all this garbage. They want to get rid of him because he's upturned the apple cart in D.C.
Yeah.
And he's done exactly what we wanted done for years.
Well, you know, he could easily be part of the elite. He's got enough money, he's got the wealth, he's got all of the properties, but he doesn't want to. He wants to be with people like you and me, just regular guys.
Well, you know, what bothers me is that the news never talks about things like the guy pulled over one time, he had a flat tire in his limousine. So the guy pulled over, helped him change the tire. A few days later, he found out that Mr. Trump had paid off his mortgage. And those stories don't come out.
No.
But there's a whole list of them. And I was reading something about a month ago, and that was one of the stories that was at the top of the list. And there were so many people that Trump just literally paid for their car,
Changed
paid for
their
house.
life.
He did. He actually kept a lot of them from basically being homeless.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that people won't pay attention to that. They just pay attention to what CNN, MSNBC, and all the idiots tell them. And I'm so tired of fighting these clowns.
Yeah.
You know, we actually fought with Antifa 3 weeks ago in Gilbert.
Oh no, was that with Liz Harris over there?
I believe it was.
Yeah.
We were down there, and got there early. There was a large group on the north side of Warner Road,
Right, right.
and about a dozen or so of us on the south side. I was on the north side, and Antifa came up from the south and started pushing our people off the corner. Well, about 60 of us crossed the intersection en masse, and two guys were waving weapons around. One had a semi-auto, the other had a shotgun. One of our guys grabbed this semi, tore it out of the guy's hands and threw it on the ground, turned around and decked the guy, and about 6 or 8 of them got decked, and 2 of them were handcuffed and taken to jail.
And so they should be.
And you know, I tell people, and they say, well, I didn't hear anything about it on the news. It's because they don't want to tell you about it.
No, they don't. They don't. Well, I'll tell you what, it is such a pleasure to meet you. We got this great shirt. You want to show that shirt to everybody? Gun-toting, Trump-supporting, Make America Safe again. Oh, very good. You know, public safety, number one. We should be able, as U.S. citizens, we should be able to walk freely around anywhere in the country and not be in fear of our life or our property.
Well, you know, I have what I call my Smith & Wesson American Express. I never go anywhere without it. And I've seen some things that happened in Santa Monica recently where they pulled people out of cars and were beating on them. And I said, you know, bring that to Arizona and you're going to find out you're not going to live long. There was a video I watched last night of a girl showing, an Antifa girl showing a tool that she bought that breaks car windows so you can get into your car if you get locked out. And right next to it, the answer to it, the guy says, well, I have a different method. He says, as a Trump supporter, he says, I have a 45, and it'll break the window too, and it'll put you on your butt.
Wow, well, I'll tell you what, we are open carry here in Arizona, and I don't think they're going to take the chance of coming out here.
Well, we, Riders USA, the group that I helped form back several years ago, we shut down the Day Labor Center in Cave Creek back in '07. We shut down the one at 25th Street in Bell shortly after that. And people said, well, weren't you afraid? And I just pulled my vest back and say, no, I was carrying my 38, and if anybody had threatened me, I said, you know, I'm a crippled vet, and I don't fight, I just drop them.
Right.
That's you know, I won't start it, but I'll damn well finish it.
Well, you know, we hope that that never, ever happens anywhere in the country. But you know what? If somebody comes and tries to do something, we have the right to defend ourselves.
That's exactly right, and I feel for the McCloskeys in St. Louis.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous. These people tore down their fence, their gate, and threatened them, their dogs.
But it's peaceful. It's a peaceful protest.
Peaceful. I'll show them peaceful.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is always a pleasure to have you here. This is Buffalo Rick. He is an icon here in Scottsdale, and we are at the El Capo restaurant. You got to join us for Trump Fridays. My name is Ray Michaels. I am your state Senate candidate for LD24, and I would love to have your support as well. On behalf,
Got mine.
well, thank you so much. Thank you. On behalf of Buffalo Rick and here at Trump Fridays, until next time, we'll see you real soon.